All right, who knew that referring to an old rock band from the 90s would be the topic for my video? But it is. So, use your illusion. This was something that I was thinking about recently. That is a Guns N' Roses album name. Very cool album. And I was thinking about that in context to myself and how useful this idea actually is. So what am I going to unpack here? It's basically, I was thinking of the road to creating things and a couple of interesting observations that I've had along the way that you might find useful if you're making things. So I thought I'd share that. It is that when I started out, it's now like whatever it is, 8 months ago, and I was at the Tokyo boot camp, and I wanted to make something. I knew that much. I'm not a very technical person, and that was self-evident very quickly. I was not going to be high in this class. I may like to make things, but that doesn't mean that you're good at the back end. But I would not be discouraged. I knew that that happens all the time. You're never, there's always somebody smarter, faster. So just, proceed, get through it. And while we were in the boot camp, we had to create this pitch. I then turned that pitch into what I'm working on now. And the point of this whole thing is that it's very scary. It's that you have an incredible amount of self-doubt along the way. And you must run with parallel confidence, let's say that. I'm going to turn off. You must proceed, I think, when you're creating things with two minds. If you have the luxury of it, you'll have this illusion, and it's that this thing, no matter what, will succeed. And then you have, arguably the more rational voice that's going to tell you, you're crazy, don't assume success, this will never succeed. And in fact, the odds are stacked against you. And I think healthily cultivating both of these voices is what gets you a fantastic final result. I would suggest that I think it's really important it's not easy, and you got to be careful like how long you stay in this area as well. But also, I would suggest, crazy though it may sound, and this is a fine balance, but the people who criticize what you're doing are also equally important because it adds depth. Just like the increase in time that something takes to accomplish, people who are dying of envy are also increasing the value of that accomplishment. Not that you would care of their opinion, but that you've done something in spite of resistance, right? They're just different forms of resistance that you're going through. The next thing is that I observed was that, you can use this illusion, this unreasonable belief in your success. And what's really, really cool is that you're probably going to start whatever it is that you're creating feeling, of course, heavy with doubt. And my assumption was that, that's never ever going to go away. But that's not true. Once you can get through significant progress on any project, I think now, because I've done it for YouTube, now I'm doing it in this slightly different context, but it's all the same thing. You're making things. Once you reach a certain point, you will start to feel better about what you're doing, provided you've been working the whole time. But it's comforting to know that while you may have to continue what seems like through a desert of time before you get to have that feeling does come up. So it's cool. It's cool. It just takes time, and it takes patience, and it takes using a little bit of illusion. I was thinking of calling the video, I was like, use your delusion, because it's probably inaccurate. But it returns to a kind of cool, just, the philosophical truism of like, nothing occurs unless you take action. That's like the only thing that we know. And even that might be a little bit flimsy. Maybe somebody who does nothing, things will come to them. But so far in my experience, that's it. To create a reaction, you must have an action. And you must be willing to do so with doubt, and you must be willing to do so with a healthy sense of complete delusion that you're going to be incredibly successful. So that's what I was reflecting on recently. The usefulness of patience, that it will change, your opinion will change over time, that in a healthy amount, actually having some amount of people saying, oh, that's impossible, it adds to your story. I've said that the whole time. That's very handy. You could get overwhelmed by that, of course, and you should never make that the point where you're like, are you making it to do something cool, or are you making it to overcome haters? It's like, I think that would not be the number one priority. It's just got to be incidental. I wonder, you know, I'm building this website. I'm being like probably obnoxiously hush-hush about exactly what it does just now. But I said I started these videos in the first place because, or I returned to them again most of all, because I really do like the interaction. It's been fun posting like a maniac this week and just seeing comments come through and getting to interact with people. So let me know, whether on some social media, probably Instagram, that's the easy one, or in the comments down below. I'm curious what's going on in the world. That's what's led me to do what I'm doing here. So I am genuinely curious about your life and your illusion. Like, is that if you had something right now that you're pursuing that you feel is, you know, it's probably deluded, it may never succeed, but you continue in spite of that. I also think, like, this is another truth that you get to it too, is that you kind of do it, you would just do it no matter what. There was a great quote from Hayao Miyazaki, World's Best Dad, and he was asked why does he create things, and his answer was like, it's just boring to do nothing. You know, so also I feel that's almost a part of the illusion, is that like we set for ourselves these grand adventures and we're like, I'm aspiring to something great, but you're like, it doesn't matter, none of this matters. I think that also keeps you sane during the course of it. It is that everything matters and nothing matters simultaneously, paradoxically. That's it. Let me know what you're working on. Hope you enjoyed this.